Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elle Quan,
And Rhyan Casiño.
And Nori Uy.
and this is Off the Line, your positive source of insights, opinions, and relevant information. So, happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
How was your
Another
week?
day.
Yes,
another-
it's a weekend ahead. It's always a welcome thing to have a weekend ahead. Was it a busy week for you?
And malapit ng Christmas, by the way.
Pero before Christmas, Ryan,
Yeah.
celebrate muna natin ang World Entrepreneur Month. So this is November. We're still celebrating our entrepreneurs, ang ating a different breed of heroes. Kasi, you know, entrepreneurs create jobs. That's one
Correct.
thing.
Yes.
See, when they embark on a business, it's really to grow, and these businesses will hire people. So job creation. Kaya in Singapore, they value entrepreneurs so much. They know that these are the backbone of the economy. I
Yes.
hope that in the Philippines, they will get to look at entrepreneurs the same way. Kasi ang mga Pinoy, I think natural sa Pinoy ang pagiging entrepreneurial. Alam mo, kaya nga may sari-sari store, di ba?
Yes.
And
Actually, ma'am,
lumaki tayo sa ganyan.
yeah, in this day and age, I can say that, more Filipinos are now, opened in the, in that kind of sense na, let's do business, let's do this, let's do that. Kasi nga before, there's an old saying, nasa eskwelahan pa lamang, hindi na itinuturo yung pagnenegosyo eh. Kumbaga, ang sabi,
Right.
mag-aral mabuti para magkaroon ka ng
Kinabukasan
magandang
ng bayan.
trabaho.
Yes.
Parang ganon, di ba? But nowadays, because also of the rise of yung rise ng mga mayayamang Pilipino na nakikilala na siya sa hindi lang Asia but worldwide na oy may mga Henry C, oy may mga Zobel, ay may mga Razon, ay may mga Manny Villar, ay may ngayon nakikita ng Pinoy, pwede pala naman talagang maging entrepreneur. Bakit
At
tayo lang?
pwede, di ba? The Pinoy has the heart for that.
Yes.
Matibay ang loob natin and we're very resilient. Para tayong what do you call that? Parang rubber band. You cannot break it easily. Kahit
Correct.
stretch mo yan ng stretch, babalik pa din yan as useful.
Actually, ang nagsimula niyan, ma'am, it's if just a few years ago, there is this guy who not naman invented, but who made popular yung inasal na nagaling sa South yan.
I love inasal.
Diba?
Okay.
Yung mang inasal na nagsimula sa parking lot.
Yes.
Sobrang naging viral yan. Diyan hindi man actually nag-start, but diyan nagkaroon ng lalong fire yung apoy ng entrepreneurship sa Pilipinas.
Na-inspire, no?
Na-inspire
Yes.
sila
Yeah.
kasi binili ng Jollibee yan, billion. Yung binili nila yung mang inasal. So biglang naging instant billionaire ngayon nakalimutan ko tuloy yung pangalan ng may-ari.
Okay.
Oh, but that just to share.
Pero,
Well,
yes.
that's good.
Na this time and age, no, especially this new normal, kailangan yung entrepreneurial mindset, di ba?
Correct.
Kasi everything's changing and we really need to innovate and
Yes.
make new ideas, di ba? Especially
Tsaka agree ako dyan eh. Kasi tiga mo if the pandemic, not naman to glorify the pandemic, no? But if the pandemic happened 15 years ago, do you think it's gonna be easy to do things like this or to work from home or to do the business of Silas Yip, who yung guest natin last week, na cloud-based?
Yes.
Hindi niya magagawa yon kasi kailangan mo ng face-to-face eh.
Right.
Kasi wala pang digital nung araw eh. Oh. If
Correct.
this happened 15 years ago, wala na. Disaster na economy.
And
So yeah, look, yeah.
It's a
Look
very
at it
nice
this
topic
way,
to
diba?
discuss entrepreneurial these times.
Yes, so the digital world is giving us so many opportunities. Like, look at us in 3 different locations. Pero meron po kami isang show na ihahatid sa inyo every Friday, and this is Off the Line. Ayan.
Correct.
So abangan nyo, we have another guest,
Wow.
international this time,
Yeah.
and it's a lady guest. Do you realize this is actually the first lady guest that we had in the
First pa?
few weeks that we've
ano?
had?
Wow.
Yes, so ngayon, at least may kasama na akong
Yay.
babae on our virtual stage. So watch out for Miss Corinna Chang, who will be joining us later for a short interview here at Off the Line. But before that, let's watch Salidade and find out how you and your church and your team can join us. And we're back, and we are here with our very special guest here on Off the Line. And because it's November, World Entrepreneur Month, I have a very special guest coming and joining us all the way from Singapore, a very good friend who I will introduce in a while. But first, let me just give you a background of who we're having with us this evening. So Miss Corinna Chang is the founder and CEO of Classic Music. She'll tell us more about that later. She's a lecturer and a performer, and she's performed with members of the Singapore Symphony Orchestra. She's been featured in magazines, received several business awards, and her business success is featured in a book called The Lady Boss, which talks about success stories of Singapore women business owners. And incidentally, I think this is the best time for me to also just mention, dahil ang inyo pong abang likod ay meron ding isang book na lumabas, and we're going to talk about that probably in future episodes. Yes, it's called Pinay Lady Boss, and I am also a contributor. This is a collection of success stories and learnings from women leaders in different sectors. So watch out for that. That's called Pinay Lady Boss. But for now, let's look at our Singapore lady boss who is joining us. So welcome to Off the Line, Corinna. Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Right, welcome everyone, and thank you, Elle, for that lovely introduction. Wow, I don't know what to say after that, but I will try my best, right, and see, share my story. And as I said, congratulations on World Entrepreneur Day.
Yes, right? Yes. So we're celebrating this month. And you know what? Why don't you talk to us about what you do? What is classic music? Our audience would like to know. What do you do?
Okay, so Classic Music is a school that I founded in 2005. So it's now 16 years old, now a teenager, right? Yes. And it's for me, it's of course a passion, a dream come true. Right? Because for me, I started music at the age of 6 on the piano, 10 on the violin, and 6 to 14 on ballet. So you can see I was a very busy child. I still had to go to school to do. But I think that I was very blessed to have parents who really appreciated the value of the arts. And even now, I think, it's you don't often find people doing 3 things at the same time, and they are below 12. So I was really blessed. Both my family, mom and dad, are both teachers. So thanks so much, mom and dad, for nurturing me at a young age.
Yes. Can I ask something? How about being an artist and being an entrepreneur? Is that difficult? Because some artists are happy-go-lucky. Being an entrepreneur, you have to have this focus schedules, diba? So, I mean, does it mix with you? How do you manage being an artist and being an entrepreneur?
For me, actually, I started my school in 2005, but I had that dream for many years, and it's only around that time that I felt ready, right? Because, and actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't really think too much about it. I just said, okay, let's start small.
You're just enjoying it.
When I started my school on the 2nd floor of Balmoral Plaza, and then my first students from home. Oh, so sorry we did interrupted. Anyway, my first students from home, they came and they had 20 students, and that first started the school. And then they said, oh, it's quite nice. And then I said, oh, what do you expect? Of course, it will be quite a nice place. But we started very small, and really, I learned to be a good salesperson because, all I knew was how to teach, right? How would I know? So, and also, getting one staff. And then from there, we built on. But I mean, really, if I were to think how much work it is, I wouldn't have started. But, you know, I think to be an entrepreneur, you must have a dream and you must act on it, right? And we always have a saying in Singapore, bodo means dumb, okay? So we say, you know, you won't be bodo forever. You know, you have to get started. And of course, today you start, second day, maybe you get a little bit better, but it takes time. People don't realize that you start a business, it's the first 3 years like a baby. It really takes constant care and attention, and it's 24/7, but nobody knows that it's 24/7 in your mind. You know? They just see success stories. So I would just say that you have a dream, you act on it, and the most importantly, faith and perseverance. Because every day, right? So I think for me, why many businesses fail is that sometimes the founder stop the energy already, you know, because it is very, when you start, you don't know about the problems. As if it started well and then you have a lot of business, then you think that it's all on your own, but sometimes it's good timing. It's when, you know, after the novelty has passed and you have to sustain it, that is when it becomes difficult, right? So, and when we have teachers who are musicians, they're not the easiest person. So I'm a musician too, but as the founder, I have to control my emotions. I can't say, oh, I don't like what you're doing. Even if I don't like what you're doing, I have to say it in a diplomatic and professional manner, isn't it? Right? Because at the end of the day, if they have been your teachers and you're both want the same thing, you have to work on the same page. And so everything is a learning experience. So I'm glad I did it, because if not, I would be just doing what I had done in the past and there's no growth. So for me, importance is always growing, right? In any situation.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that's nice. What experiences that you said hinders your
challenges you make?
The challenges. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, sometimes, again, you know, so when it's not good. So a lot of entrepreneurs at the beginning, you start off well, but then after that you got cash flow problems, or you got problems with the staff, or you got problems, cash flow and problems with the staff and this and that. So how do you manage, and how do you, get the right counsel? How do you, at the end of the day, remain calm and focused and, find a way to move forward, right? Yeah. This is, people can say, oh, we went to business school, but business school is different. It's not experience, right?
Yes,
right?
That is so true.
Say, oh, I went to Harvard Business School. Yeah, but
that is so true.
They say welcome to the
learning
reality.
Is different. Yes, what you learn on the textbook and in the classroom is very different from the reality, from the real world challenges. But Corinna, sorry, how did the pandemic affect you and the business, and how are you coping up? I'm sure it's changed a lot, right?
Oh, definitely it's changed a lot. But again, we try to do what we can, and I was looking at this, and the concept of fear is not in my vocabulary, because if you fear, then everything it shrinks, and you go like on defense. But again, you have to find out what can you do, what is the most sensible thing you can do, and you can pivot. So that's why during this pandemic, although we have downsized a bit, because it's and we had to go also online. So it's quite a big change. But then you learn how to do Zoom. You learn a few other things here, and I've been doing my teacher training with my Philippine mentor, and we just finished the Suzuki Book 4. So I mean, everything is different. So everybody now feels like online and Zoom is just normal now. In the past, it was 6 months ago or 1 year. It's not normal. Right. And I pivoted also in the year 2020. I also spent more time with CEO God and do Bible study. And the second thing is I lost 16 kg, right? And and then in August 2021, this became a host of Musicahan. So that opened doors, and that had been actually a dream of mine to do more broadcasting and social media. But you know, God said, I think you have to change your image. So I changed, and so He gave and opened the door. Right?
I've known Corinna for about a decade now. She's one of my first friends in Singapore. She's a very lovely lady. I think you're very, very genuine. Yeah, and as an entrepreneur, that's something that you should keep as a character, because you will, as you said, you will face a lot of many changing situations, but your character as a good-hearted person will always be there. So yeah, that's great.
As a musician, yeah, I mean, people can, if the experienced person can already hear from your playing, are you a cold person? Are you a very technical person? It's very obvious if you're experienced, because you see and say, oh, they play very technically very well, but there's no heart in it. It's like, no, they play fast, they play loud, but what's the meaning, right? So when I go to a concert, when I listen to a person's play, I'm looking out for something inside, something sensitive, something authentic to them, right? They might not play all the right notes, but if I feel that they have this genuineness, right? I really, feel like, sometimes we can listen to a person, you can fall in love with them, but not fall in love in that, romantically, but just with the soul of that innate person inside. So I think those who, I'm sure my Filipino audience would understand what I'm trying to say. The heart and the soul is important. And I have, when I met Elle, we immediately connected, and you might not realize that we knew each other for Karaoke World Championship. And I told her, go for it. And I was just telling Elle a few days ago, actually, I was more excited than she was inside, because it was like a dream, And then, we went to Finland. It really opened another world, the world of pop music. So,
Corinna, I have a question because what really resonates in me with your responses is that you seem to be a very faithful person, religious at that. And how did faith play a role in your business decisions?
For me, actually, my life changed in 2015. But before that, I don't know. I've been, my dad is 3 generations Catholic. And right from a young age, Papa is Peter and my brother is Paul. So you can't run away from that, right from a young age. And then, when even was 20, 30s or whatever, my dad would say, Corinne, there's church on Sunday. Please make sure you go, right? I'm sure you all know the patriarchs like that. Yeah. But I remember that faith was not pushed down. It's just that, my parents are both teachers. They really believe, and my parents are now in their 80s, and dad is 90 plus. So it's part of what we are or who we are, right? And my dad comes from Kuching, which is in Sarawak, near Sabah, that side, and it's a very small place. And so everybody knows each other, and there is this, everybody helps each other, and people are very nice, you see. So I grew up with the sense that God is an important part of our life. Of course, every time we got trouble, I say, God, what am I going to do? I need help, right? But I really actually journeyed deeper with God from 2015 onwards, when we went to have the Catholic renewal encounter. And he actually showed me the way every few months later. So, don't think I'm like this preaching God and all that. I was not. In fact, I think Elle is more religious than I am, but somehow slowly it went, right? Yeah.
Corinne, so Singapore, as we all know it, and a lot of people would know, Singapore is a tough place to crack in business. They would say center of business in Asia. At least I would say that. Now, knowing that whatever it is that now, in 16 years in business, is there anything that you'd like to change from how you did it way back?
Actually, sometimes being naive is also good, I feel that every journey, there's no right or wrong answer, right?
Yes.
There's no right or wrong answer, but you must go with a passion and a vision. So for me, and actually, when people say, oh, you're successful or you're not successful, what is the meaning of success. For me, success is, nurturing a person, nurturing families, making them grow. And then, you see them when they start young, because we teach very young from 2.5, 3 years old onwards. And if they go up to 8, 9 years old and they have been with us, and you see them being able to play well, blossoming well, that is already for me success. But somebody will be saying, oh, as a music school, where's your P&L? Of course we have to worry about these things, but is it profit at the expense of good education? It's not for me. For us, for myself, for our teachers, they really must love the kids. They really must love music, or else it's no point. It's not a paycheck. For music education, it should not be a paycheck, because everybody will say, yeah, you go to this school, they are just, you go from 10 to 10:30 the class, and 30 minutes after that you go out, and that's you're just a student, in, out, in, out. That's not me, right? In fact, we're just talking to another friend and saying that quite often a lot of the music schools, they are run by administrators. And then after a few years, it closes down, because they're in for quick profit. But music or education is not the place. If you want maybe English or Chinese language, or even computer, or the econs or whatever, maybe you can have group classes and everybody wants to be in the top school. But music is a little bit different. Right.
They say,
I hope I answered the question.
I mean, they say arts sometimes, and this is throughout history, artists who venture in business normally just don't make it. Just like what you've said, after a year or two, they close down. But how were you able to keep this for a very long time? This is actually a parting word for you to our viewers just before we end the interview. How were you able to sustain this business, this model, for a very long time?
Well, I can tell you, at the end of the day, it's really your passion and vision for the school. It's like your baby. Can you tell your baby and say, I know now you're not growing well, I'll give you to another person, and then you cut up the baby, and if you talk to the founders, they will have a different philosophy from somebody who takes over after the founder. They will say, okay, P&L is not good, everything is being logical, close down, that's it. But the founder would always say, is there another way? Because they find it hard to let go. Whether that is a good reason or bad reason, at the end of the day, it's how badly you want your baby to survive. Right? Yeah, it's right. It's a matter of choice.
That's true.
But the founder will say, I'll go on for another day, and then I'll go on for another day. It goes on for years.
Yes.
Ryan, this is for you also, because remember, so Ryan is the founder of Diag Movement. So the founder's mind is different from Elle and Nori's.
Yes.
So just go for it.
Yes.
So
go for it. That's
correct.
a good word. Yes.
Passion, right? Passion. Entrepreneurship is really about passion and commitment. And I think that's a very good takeaway from Corinna.
I think ultimately it's really whether you feel it is worth it or not. Because at the end of the day, every time you wake up and then you say, must I go to work? But if you feel that way, then it's the time to say goodbye. Because you must have a feeling and said, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do something, right? What can I learn from this? And of course, when I was younger, probably I don't think so much, as I told you, if I think so, I think probably I cried a lot, and God went to saw it upstairs and said, okay, let's hum and find some people to help Corinna or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's your steadiness and your determination and your fortitude. That's it, That's why people can close within the first 2 years, first 3 years, first year or first 5 years. They don't have the energy. They don't have the will. I think that's the most important thing. You don't have the will. And I love tennis so much. So my heroes are people like Serena Williams, who is also born on the same day as I am, 26th of September, and Rafael Nadal. We're not quitters, right? And then let's fight another day. That's why
it does have something to do with the month of birth.
I'm my champion red.
Right.
We don't let go.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting interview, Elle, because with with the viewers in the Philippines now, what we have are these people who are trying to venture into entrepreneurship as well. And with the learnings that I myself learned a lot from Corinna on this particular interview, and I'm sure that all the viewers out there were able to pick up a thing or two to help them venture into whatever it is that they wanted to do in life.
Yes, and Corinna's always inspired me. As I said, she's one of my earliest, people that have inspired me here in Singapore. And it's not easy being away from home. So thank you so much, Corinna. And there you have it. That is Miss Corinna Chang, founder and CEO of Classic Music in Singapore. Thank you very much for joining us at Off the Line. This is Elle Quan.
This is Rhyan Casiño.
And this is Nori Uy saying stay safe and God bless.